Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm a Kaggle master and junior data scientist. Guys, in this video we are discussing about one of the deep learning Kaggle projects named as X-ray detection using CNN. So before discussing this project guys, I just show you two images and you can write in the chat comment section which images is COVID positive and which images is COVID negative. So this is your image guys. This is live. Write in the comment section left side image or right side image which image is a COVID positive and which image is a COVID negative. This is the first image and this is the second image. I just show you. So our left side image is the COVID negative and our right side image is the COVID positive guys. Okay. So let's just start. Before starting this video guys, if you have not watched my Kaggle explanation video, check in the description section and please watch the Kaggle explanation video like how a beginner start a Kaggle. Okay. So let's first of all, I just show you the problem statement. So the problem statement is that this is our Kaggle and the problem statement is the COVID-19 patient length X-ray image 1000. Okay, this is your headline. Okay, and your image data set is look like this guys. This is your in a data set COVID image as well as a normal image. Both images are available. So first I just show you one of the COVID image. See, this is your COVID image. Look like this, and the normal image is look like this. This is your normal image. Okay, and mainly your problem statement of this problem is you have to find out the which image is a COVID positive or a COVID and which image is a COVID negative or a normal image. Okay, so let's start the coding part. Okay, so for the coding part, first of all we have to import our data set guys. Okay, and before importing data set, I just show you how to load a data set. You can use a new notebook, okay, or another method, you just add the data and find out, just search the COVID data set and just add. Okay, let's discuss the project. First of all, you have to import the necessary library. Okay, I just import NumPy, Pandas and Keras, all the libraries like image generator library, load EMG, EMG array, okay, sequential, COVID, sorry, convex2, max pooling, global average pooling, activation function, dropout, batch normalization, flat and dense, average pooling, max pooling, all those things. I already imported this. So your first work is the, first of all, you have to import all the necessary library. Okay, so I just import this. Okay, after importing your all the data set is listed guys. Okay, next I just read our data set. So I just assign data is equal to, this is our path. How can I get it path? Just see input and the COVID image. Okay, this is your path. Just copy your path and paste it. Okay, so I just run this cell, just in shift and enter. Okay, so our data set is imported guys. First you have to import all the necessary library. After that you have to load your data set. Okay, then I just write os dot list directory, means print our all the data directory, means in our data set directory two images are available, COVID and normal. Okay, so it prints list dir data. Okay, so COVID and normal. Next I just little zoom guys. Okay, so hope you see. Okay, so first of all I just print out the normal image. Okay, so I just take normal is equal to, I just create a list. Okay, and I write a condition for for loop for image path in globe.globe data plus this is your normal path. Just check this. This is your normal path. Just copy this path and paste it. Okay. Then I write normal append mpimg dot read read image path. Okay, and then I just call figure.plt.figure. I just assign figure subtitle normal image and I read the first images. So I write plt.imShow function. I write a imShow function. Then normal image first image and color map is equal to I just print a gray. Okay, and I just run this cell. You have to see our normal images look like this. Okay. Next, I just print the COVID image. So I just write COVID equal to take a list. Okay. Then I write a for loop condition for image path in globe.globe data plus I just paste a path on COVID image. You have to just check this COVID image and copy this path and paste it. Okay. Then I write COVID image dot append means we have append our COVID image data in list this list. Okay, right? COVID image dot append mpimg dot imread and then our image path. Okay, then I plot figure equal to plt dot figure, write a subtitle COVID image and just print plt dot imShow COVID image and I take a first image. Color map is equal to gray. Okay. Then I print this and see our COVID image look like this. Check the compare this both the image. Normal images look like this and the COVID images look like this. Okay. Next, I just define the input shape, epochs, batch size. So let's understand what is epochs. So epoch is the one of the when the entire data set is passed forward and backward through the neural network only once. I just show you how it works. Okay. And the batch size is the total number of the training example present in the single batch. Okay. So I just define image width is equal to 150, image height is equal to 150 and channel is equal to 3. What is channel? This channel is the RGB channel. Okay. Then I define input shape. Input shape means you have to see the documentation of the Keras. Okay. You have to check the documentation of the Keras. All those things are available, guys. How the CNN works. Okay. So first of all, I just show you project. So I just define input shape is equal to image width, image height, and the channel. And you can also define like that 150 like this, 150 comma 150 comma 3. Okay, you can also define like this. Next, I just define np class is equal to 2, epochs is equal to 45. Epochs is the one epoch is given is when the entire data set is passed forward and backward through the neural network only once. And the batch size is the total number of training example present in the single epoch or single batch. Okay. So I just define all those things, epochs, batch size, and the input shape, all those things. Next, the training model. Okay. So what can I do? First, I just define model is equal to sequential. Okay, and then I write model dot add convex 2D. I take 32 image 3 into 3 input shape is equal to input shape. Okay, and then I add model dot activation function. Which activation function I use? I use a ReLU activation function. Okay. Next, I add model dot add. I using the max pooling and pool size is equal to 2 cross 2. You can use a any other activation function like a sigmoid or any other activation function, and you can also change the max pooling like a average max pooling and the mean pooling. Okay, it's totally up to you, because guys this is the trial and error method. You can use a different things, and you can check your training accuracy as well as the test accuracy. Okay, then I just show you the Keras documentation. There are lots of methods to writing the Keras training model. First method, you have to write the model dot check the define sequential model with the 3 layers like Keras dot sequential, and then write the layers density. You have to define your Keras layer density, then layer density, same thing. And I use this method, guys. Mainly I use this method because there are many methods you can create your training model. Okay, so it's totally up to you which model you can use and which method you can use. Okay, so I use this method. Okay, you can use the another method, it's totally fine. Okay, so just show you the next step. So in the first layer, I use the activation function and max pooling. In the second layer, again I use a ReLU function. You can use lots of layer as well as the activation, pooling layer. Okay, I use again first I take the 64, then I take a 250, again I take a 128, and the activation function is equal to ReLU, and the pooling is equal to average pooling. First I take the max pooling, then again I take a average pooling. Okay, next I just take a add model 64, activation function is equal to ReLU and the average pooling, 2 cross 2 matrix. Okay, and the final layer I just write the model and flatten. I just flatten our data. Like first I just show you the paint. When we enter our input data, this I just enter our input data. Okay, look like this. Okay, and after entering the input data, we have used some of the hidden layer. Okay, so I use a dense function. Okay, I just use a dense function for the hidden layer. Like I use a one dense function at hidden layer, and the second dense function, and after that I just use a flatten. Flatten means I just flatten all the data like this. All the data 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so on. Look like this. Okay, so I just first I use a hidden layer, 1 and 2 hidden layer, and then we have flatten our data. Okay, next, and the final step, in the final step I use the activation function as a sigmoid. Okay, so I just run this cell. Okay, next is the model compiler. So the model needs to be compiled before training can start. As for our loss function, we use the log loss, which is called a binary cross entropy. Why we use a binary cross entropy? Because our output is the yes or no or 0 or 1. This is the classification problem. If our data set is a multi-class classification problem, so we can use a sparse cross entropy or other method. Okay, but this problem is the only a yes or no like this, so we have used a binary cross entropy. Okay, then the inner Keras matrix is only used for the evaluation. As the optimizer, we could have used RMS probe, but the ADAM is faster. You can use a ADAM optimizer as well, but in my code I use a RMS probe. Okay, so I just write model.compile loss is equal to binary cross entropy, optimizer is equal to RMS probe, and the matrix is equal to accuracy. Why I write a matrix is equal to accuracy? I just explaining the next cell. Okay, so I just run this cell. Okay, next I print the, first of all I just print the summary of our model. After printing the summary, I just plot the image of this. Okay, so let's print. First of all, see, this is our summary of our model. First convex layer in the activation function, then the max pooling, then again next convex 2D, then the activation function, then again convex 2D,
and then the final is the our total parameter is the 99,200 9,92,827 is the total parameter, guys. Okay. Next, this is our model. So in the first, this is our input layer. After that, we have user convex to use the activation function, ReLU activation function. Then we have take a max pooling. Okay, max pooling again. I just take a convex 2D. Then use a activation function, convex 2D activation function, convex 2D activation function. Then we use a average pooling. I just show you again. See, we have used a average pooling. First we have used a max pooling. Then we use a average pooling. Okay, same thing here. Then we use a convex. This is your model printing, guys. Okay. Next thing is the image generator. So the another important method is to improve the generalization is augmentation. This means generating the more training data by randomly capturing the images. If done is the right way, it can force the net to only learn translation variants features. If you train this model over hundreds of epochs, augmentation will definitely improve your performance. Here is the kernel. We look at the image 4 to 5 times, so the difference is smaller. We use the Kiraj function for the augmentation. Okay, so I write just data, train data again. I just call image data generation. Rescale is equal to 1 divided by 255. Share range is equal to 0.2. You just check the Kiraj image generator documentation, guys. Just Kiraj image generator documentation. Just write this and check this Kiraj image generator documentation, and you have to define all those parameters, guys. Okay, so let's back into our code. So I just define share range is equal to 0.2, zoom range 0.2, horizontal flip true, and the validation split 0.25. Okay, then again train generator, train data again follow from directory. Okay, I just define data. Training size is equal to our height and width. We already defining here our image width, image height, and channel. Okay, so I just write image height and image width. Batch size is equal to batch size. Already we have defined. Class mode, we have write a binary, and subset is equal to training. For the validation generator, I just call train data again, follow from directory, and just call the data. Training size is equal to image height, image width. Batch size is equal to batch. Class mode, binary, shuffle, false, and subset is equal to validation. This is our training, and this is our validation step. Okay. Next, I just print the history. So I just call model.fit generator. I just take the train generator. Okay, and the step for epoch is equal to train generator.sample. Okay, validation step is equal to validation generator. Validation steps validation generator.sample, and epochs is equal to epochs. How many epochs we have defined? We have defined 45 epochs. Okay, you can increase or decrease, it's totally up to you, because this is all are the trial and error methods. So I just run this cell and see our epochs is running, guys. In the our 74 image belong to the 2 class, and the 24 image is belong to the 2 class. Okay, so our epochs is running, guys. Make sure when you run this cell, you have to open your GPU, guys. You have to accelerate your GPU and open your network. Okay, because when you run this cell in CPU, it takes a lot of time. So you just change your CPU to GPU and then try to run this cell. Okay, so guys, it take approx 40 to 15 seconds, 40 to 45 seconds, sorry, because we have designed 45 epochs. Our 12 epochs is complete. And see, guys, our losses are 1.35 in the first epoch, and then the accuracy is 70%. Second epoch 60, 0.60 loss and the accuracy is 70. Again 65 loss, 70 validation accuracy. Okay, so this our valid loss is decreased after 1 by 1 epoch, and our accuracy is increased after 1 by 1 epoch, every epoch. Okay, so presently is a 20 epoch, and let's wait few minutes, guys. Before waiting is, and make sure guys you have to see the Siraj documentation, because when we adding I use this method. You can use a different method, like this method, creating a sequential, or another method like this. Okay, so it's totally up to you which method you can use. Okay, so see, about 27 epochs is completed, 28 epoch. In the 28 epoch, our loss is 0.0097, very low, and the accuracy is approx the 100%. Okay, but the after 29 epoch, see, our accuracy is again a less, like a 100 to 91, then the 83. Okay, so you can increase or decrease your epochs, is totally up to you. Okay, guys. Just a few more seconds, guys. 38 epoch is completed. Approx. Forty-one epoch is completed, and our accuracy is approx 100% or 95%, and the loss is the 0.02. So the 43 epoch is completed, 44, and the final epoch is the completed, guys. See, our in the final epoch, our accuracy is the 100%, validation accuracy is the 100%, and the our losses is 6.32. But in the 44 epoch, see, in the 44 epoch, our loss is the 0.84, and the validation accuracy is the 100%, and the accuracy is the 94%, guys. Let's see the plot and check the accuracy on loss. So I just define fig x is equal to plt dot subplot. I take the two graph, 1 and 2, figure size is equal to 14:5. Okay, then I take the, in the first plot, history, I check the accuracy, history dot history, validation accuracy, and then I write the set title is equal to model accuracy, set to y level accuracy, and the set to x level as a epoch, and the length, train and test, and the LOC is equal to upper left. Okay, then the next image, this is our first image, guys. This is our first image, and this is our second image. So in the second image, we take the loss, okay, and in the I write plt plot history dot history, write the validation loss, set title is equal to model loss, set y level is equal to loss, epoch, and then train and test. I just run this cell and see the our graph is in the model accuracy. In the model accuracy, our yellow color is the test. See, our training and test part is look like same, guys. Okay, but in the model loss, after the 20 epoch, in the 28 or 29 epoch, our test loss is very much increased, but in the training loss is not too much increased. Okay, let's check the accuracy of the our model. So I just write print training accuracy, history dot history accuracy, and the -1, and in the list, and the validation as accuracy. Okay, so I just print this and see approx our training accuracy is the 100 and 100, means our model is, guys, overfitting. Okay, so what can you do? You can add some more images. You can add some more images, or you can change your epoch size. So I just try to change our epoch size like 40, and I just run again. It takes some time, guys, but just okay. I just take 40 epochs. Let's see how much time it takes. Approx 1 minute it takes, and then I just see our again accuracy and loss. Okay, So our fourth epoch is completed. It takes 1 minute, guys. Okay. So our loss is the 0.57 and the accuracy is 79. In the 8 epoch, our loss is the approx 30, 0.30, and the validation accuracy is the 0.66. Let's see for the next epoch. So the next epoch is the our 13. See, our accuracy is too much increase, 91, 83, 95, again 83, then again 100% our validation accuracy. Let's see, again our accuracy is 70%. So guys, these are all are the trial and error method. You can change all those things and check again and again, and then you have to validate your model. Okay. So wait for few seconds, guys. About 20 box is completed. A few seconds more. It takes few minutes more, guys. Just a second. Okay. So the approx 26 epoch is completed, guys. One more 20 to 30 seconds. See, the our validation accuracy is 95, then 100, then again 70. You can increase or decrease your accuracy. Okay, so 32 epochs. Thirty-five epochs is completed. Our accuracy is increase and decrease both, of guys. Okay, so the 37, 95 accuracy, 100% again 37 epoch. In the 38 epoch again 100% accuracy. For the 39, 95, and the final is the 100%. Let's see, I again just print this graph and check again our no. So our in this time our training accuracy is the 97, but the validation accuracy is 100%. Okay, so guys, you can increase your epoch size and batch size. Okay, as well as you have to change your activation function as well as the pooling. Okay, and then you have to check your training and validation accuracy and the testing accuracy. Okay, so you have to change because this all are the trial and error method, guys. So you can change your activation function and the pooling. Okay, and the epoch size. Okay, so that's all about in this video, guys. If you like it, please like this video and subscribe my channel. And if you have any doubt, just write in the comment section, guys. Okay, so that's all about in this video. Thanks for the watching. Thank you.